I wish I had the same delusion that I do when I was 2 and didn't think that I could ruin anything at all. I could never fall. I wish I had that same conviction, convinced I never needed fixing. Yeah, that girl really knew her business. Where did she go? Yeah, she thought she could do anything, thought she could get anywhere. Confident she's number one.
Welcome back to another video that is all about doing things that make us excited about life because we love taking care of ourselves here. And I'm so excited for this video because today we're going to talk about how to make sure we are financially safe and well taken care of by ourselves. Many of you say I look younger than my age, but I'm actually 58. I hope I get to live into my 90s because some of my Italian relatives lived well into their 90s and some even made it past 100. So who knows? I'm very excited to do this video because I know a lot of you are feeling concerned about the future. The world is changing right now, hopefully for the better, but there's a lot of instability. So it makes us all feel a little worried, right? So I'm going to share with you how I take care of myself financially, how I managed to retire early and move abroad, and how I'm preparing for the future. I recently posted a video sharing more about my story. I will link it at the end of this video. My kids are in their 20s and they live in 2 different countries, so I travel quite a lot to see them. I also pay for their flights to come visit me. They're both in college, so I help them financially as much as I can. Both of my parents have passed away. I know many of you are also taking care of aging parents. That's why I mention it. My mother died 3 years ago. My sister and I both took care of her and made sure she could live at home, which is what she wanted. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I was basically clueless about anything financial. When I was talking with my banker, I didn't know what she meant when she said interest rates. I had no clue what the difference was between stocks and bonds, and I couldn't have imagined myself investing and building wealth. It was only in my 40s that I started learning about money. I started reading about it. I took financial courses and I spent a lot of money on financial advisors and private coaches who taught me everything that I know today. Back then, I was in a relationship where any financial opinion that I had was rejected, and my partner didn't support any investing idea that I had, so I didn't invest. It was only after my divorce that I started investing, and if I could get my life on the right track at age 50, then you can do it too. You might not be into investing right now. Maybe someone is taking care of you financially, but things can change. We live much longer these days, but God forbid something happens to your partner or your marriage ends unexpectedly, like mine. So there's a good chance that you will find yourself living alone at a certain point in your life, and you need to have a plan for how to get along when you can't rely on your partner's income. It's much better to learn all these things now and not to have to cope with them when you're struggling with some unexpected events in your life. So I want to share how I take care of myself financially, and this makes me so happy because for me, taking care of myself financially is as important as taking care of your health. You know what I mean? A lot of times we're buying into the idea that learning how to do our makeup or perfecting our skincare routine or decluttering our closet are the things that we need to put our time into. And these are all important things, and I do them too. But the most important thing that will allow you to do all the other things that you want to do, like traveling, moving abroad, getting out of a toxic relationship, is financial freedom. I hope that makes sense. My goal with learning about money was never to buy myself designer clothes or to go to the Maldives, even though these are great things to do, but they were never my driving force. When I was in my 20s, I had to work really hard to pay for my university tuition. I cleaned houses, I worked as a waitress, and I took on some pretty crazy jobs And that's when I realized that freedom comes from having money, but there was no one at the time that was teaching these things. So I had no idea how to go about it, so I just kept working at these soul-sucking jobs. I wish I knew back then the most important rule of money, because I would have a completely different approach to both my life and my money. And that rule is that your money can work for you and bring in more money if you invest it and not just put it in your savings account. You can invest your money in stocks that pay dividends, or you can buy a property and rent it out. And then you start earning passive income, as they call it, which is not always 100% passive, but what they mean when they call it passive income is that you're not trading your time to get paid. And the second rule, which I wish I knew at the time, was to not spend that money that you earn as passive income and to reinvest it and buy more assets that will bring in even more passive income. In the first 5 years, I didn't touch my rental income. I just reinvested it. And there's no better feeling than growing your money that way. I hope I managed to explain it well. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. My favorite way to invest and my path to early retirement was buying properties and renting them out long term. But before you think, I don't have that kind of money, and switch off your brain, that's a mistake a lot of people do. They think that they need a huge amount of money to start investing in real estate, or that there's some secret knowledge that only real estate investors know, and you can't really invest in real estate and buy property without knowing it, which is so intimidating, and it stops people from taking the leap, which is such a pity because it has the potential to change your life for the better. There are so many other creative ways to earn extra income off real estate. For example, you can rent out your home while you're traveling abroad, or you can rent out a room in your house to a student, which is something that actually my mother did for a few years. Or you can buy a property with other people that you trust, which is something that I did at a certain point when I wanted to scale up my investing and I didn't have that kind of money to buy a larger property. If you just do one of these things, it will change your life dramatically, because if you're reinvesting the rental income for a few years and you're living off just your salary, then you're actually building your retirement fund. And by the way, my first investment property cost just £90,000, which was about $100,000 at the time. I do invest in dividend stocks and in Bitcoin too, but my personal preference is real estate, because with real estate, even if property prices go down, I still get my rental income every month, which is what I need at this point in my life. So there's no one size fits all in investing advice. Your investments need to align with your goals. I don't really mind if there's fluctuations in property prices, because I don't intend to sell. I don't do flipping investments where you buy, renovate, and sell quickly. And I don't do short-term rentals because I'm not looking for another job. I buy properties to hold for the long term, and in the best case scenario, my kids will inherit them. So I'm also building generational wealth. A lot of you asked me in the comments where my properties are located and how I manage them. My properties are spread in 3 different countries, and I take care of everything remotely. We're so lucky to live at a time where almost everything can be done online, and you don't need to be tied down to a certain place to manage your assets or to make money. I'm just sharing my own experiences, the mistakes I've made, and things I've learned along the way. Why don't I invest locally? There are definitely pluses to having all your properties in one place. You know the demographic of your potential tenants, you've got your handyman for repairs. But because real estate is such a concentrated investment as it is, I like to spread the risk. That's why I've got properties in 3 different countries, and my rental income is in 3 different currencies. That way, if one country decides to put in new taxes, or if the currency goes down, or if home insurance prices shoot up, which is actually what is happening in the US right now, then you're not depending on just one location for your rental income. Investing in real estate allows me to live my life on easy mode, but when I really think about it, being a landlord or being a landlady, I suppose, comes with a lot of challenges too. It's not passive income. It does take some work, like communicating with tenants, making sure everything works in the apartment, negotiating the rent, and signing contracts. I always try to make sure that my tenants have a great experience renting my property, because happy tenants renew their lease every year, so you don't have to spend money finding new tenants, and they also keep your property in good shape. So what's the message of this video? I want you to know that learning how to invest and how to take care of yourself financially is the best thing that you can do for yourself, and it will change your life more than anything else, because it will allow you to do all the other things that you want to do. Travel, move abroad, have time for yourself. We're so used to putting other people first, taking care of our kids, then taking care of our parents, and some of us didn't make it a priority to save for retirement. So now, if we're in our 50s, we need to take a more active approach to saving and investing. And I want you to know that you're not alone if you're struggling with something, because we're all here to support and motivate each other. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much, and I'm sending you the biggest hug ever and kisses.